Hey, what's up, cats and kittens? And shout out to all my Cerebralites. It is me, the Cerebral Diva, and I'm back with another episode of You Say What. Now, for those of you who are new to my channel, You Say What is your opportunity to chime in, to leave your 2 cents, and to be a part of the discussion that is happening here on my channel within my community of Cerebralites. Having said that, before you go another further, do yourself a favor, and while you're at it, do me a solid. Take a second to hit that subscribe button. Once you've done that, take another second to hit that tiny little bell so you can turn on your notifications, and that way you'll be kept in the loop so you won't miss a thing. Okay, so I'm going to try to make this video really quick, and I'm going to make a couple of points about this whole Bobby Valentino transsexual escort sex scandal. Okay, so the first thing I want to say is, if you're a man and you're sleeping with transsexuals or men or whatever your predilections may be, it's 2017. Stop hiding that shit. Step up and own it. Be who you are. Like, when you hide who you are, you give people the power to embarrass you in the way that Bobby Valentino is being embarrassed. When you own your stuff, when you are who you are, there's nothing for people to use to blackmail you or to embarrass you or to shame you. Look, like what you like. None of us can judge, because I'm sure if some of us had cameras or had people looking into our own personal lives, myself included, you know, we might be embarrassed or ashamed of some of the things that people might find out about us. So to that I say, if you deal with men, if you deal with transgender women, whatever your sexual proclivities may be, stop hiding. Stop hiding. Stop being ashamed of who you are. Stop giving people the power to hurt you. So I just want to say that. Secondly, this is to transsexual women. If you're a transsexual woman and you want to be respected as a woman and treated as such and use the same bathrooms and have the same rights and all the same things, you know, all the things that we hear about in the media, when you go on the internet and post up a video of a celebrity and you're quote unquote outing him for being with you, you need to understand sort of the underlying message that you're putting out there, because by virtue of outing him, you're essentially nullifying your womanhood. And the reason I say that is because as a woman, if I slept with a man, I wouldn't be putting up a picture saying, look, he slept with me because I'm a woman. What you're saying when you put up a picture of him on the internet is like, look, Bobby Valentino slept with a freak. I'm a freak. And listen, I'm not trying to be offensive, but I'm trying to tell you the message that you're putting out there when you're outing him for sleeping with you is that you're not a woman. Because a woman wouldn't have to out a man for sleeping with her. So if you want to be respected as a woman, the first thing that you need to start doing is start seeing yourself as a woman. And outing these celebrities, you know, if you're going to out him for sleeping with you, out him for sleeping with an escort, out him for sleeping with a whore. Because to me, that should be the shame in this whole scenario. The fact that he is paying for sex when he is quote unquote Bobby Valentino. So I just think that it's crazy that just it's sort of paradoxical in terms that message of wanting to be treated as a woman, but then using the fact that you're transgender to leverage some sort of revenge or exact revenge on someone. You know, if you want to be seen as a woman, then you have to present yourself that way if you want to be accepted that way. All right, so moving on from that point, the next thing I want to say is, in 2017, the line between biological cisgender woman and transgender woman is becoming blurred. When you look at shows like Love and Hip Hop, Married to Medicine in particular, when you hear women like Tamar speak, sometimes it's hard to differentiate who's transgender and who's not. Even when you look at like the body types of people like K. Michelle and a lot of these strippers that these men ogle over, whether you know it or not, a lot of these strippers are modeling their body types after transgender women, because these transgender women have been using silicone and all sorts of different fillers to augment their bodies for years. And strippers who hang out, you know, with people these within these subcultures were exposed to this and saying, wow, how did you do that? And then they began to emulate the body types of these transgender women. So the same men who are going to be attracted to this exaggerated K. Michelle body type, you know, these Instagram models who use all sorts of, you know, fats and silicones and what have you to augment their body are probably going to be attracted to transgender women. Now, there are going to be some men who see these transgender women and say, "Damn, she's fine," because beautiful is beautiful. I don't care. You know you can say whatever you want to say, but I don't care whether you're gay, straight, bi, whatever. Your eyes see beauty. The first thing your eye sees is beauty. So an attractive person is going to be an attractive person no matter what. That is just facts. Now, if you look at a person and you find them attractive, and then you find out later, oh well, that person is different than I thought, then for some people that attraction is diminished. For some people that attraction is not impacted, and for some people that attraction may be heightened because it's something that they've never experienced before. So as people of color, we have to push through our prejudices about people who are different. I think in 2017, it's time to grow. It's time to expand our belief. And I'm going to say the fact that Bobby Valentino sleeping with a transgender woman is a scandal speaks to the lack of growth within our community. And I'm going to tell you why growth is so important. Because when we grow and when we expand our minds, we give people the room and the space to breathe and to be themselves. And by giving them the room and space to be themselves, it's not a favor to them, it's a favor to you. And the reason, and when I say you, I'm talking to a lot of these women who are concerned about bisexual men or down low men who are sort of vacillating back and forth between sexualities. Um, the reason why it's important for us to not be so prejudicial, to not be so judgmental, is because when you give a man the space to be himself, then you have the opportunity to see that man for who he is. And then it gives you the tools to say whether or not you want to be involved with him. But the moment we start calling men the F bomb and emasculating them for whatever their sexual proclivities may be, they start to hide. And when they start to hide because of the shame that we're inflicting, then we can't complain about, well, I can't stand down low men when we're creating the climate and the culture that makes it necessary for down low men to exist. When we say, look, okay, be you, do you, whatever, hey, I don't judge, and give men the space to be who they are, then they're going to let their guard down, they're going to show you who they are, and then you can say, oh, well, I'm not down with that. Excuse me, that's not something I'm into. And now you can see a person for who they is, and so a person's more likely to share themselves wholly with you as opposed to sharing pieces of themselves with you. So I just think that in 2017 we really need to push beyond this whole prejudicial thing and just let people give people the space to like what they like. At the end of the day, if you're not sleeping with them, if you're not attracted to it, then it's not my business. Personally, I couldn't give a damn who Bobby Valentino is sleeping with. As long as he's not in my bed, do whatever it is that you do. I'm worried about whether or not the music is good. That's, my concern, because in all likelihood, I'm never going to cross paths with this man. So it really has no bearing on me whatsoever who he sleeps with or who he doesn't sleep with. But I really want us as a community to really start taking onus and having a healthier dialogue around sexuality, around sexual orientation, and really around just giving men in particular, because women are given a lot more leeway. There's a huge double standard in the black community, a huge double standard, because if this had been, let's say, Rihanna leaving the apartment of a female to male transsexual, would it have been salacious? Absolutely. People would have still been talking about it. There would have still been a buzz about it, but not to the degree that it would be career ruining. Like, this is something that we've seen happen before with Sydney Star and Chingy, and countless other male celebrities who have been, I think even Ray Schmurder, I think they had like a little sort of transgender kerfuffle a few months or so ago. But we've just seen this play out over and over and over and over again. And I think that we just really need to move beyond it. And that concludes this episode. So remember to like, comment, subscribe, and please share if you feel so inclined. Remember to follow me across all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. Also remember, it is better to be pissed off than it is to be pissed on. And it's always, in closing, people, remember to live better, love harder, and think smarter. It is me, the Cerebral Diva. I will talk to you guys again soon. Have a great day, and as always, thank you for listening.